I saved this video a while back by a guy called Scooby Snack Official, which is captioned, "Me waking up at 6 a.m. to go to work because I was too shy to dance on TikTok in 2020." Uh, I think what's really interesting, there's nothing wrong with this video and the guy who made this video, but what's really interesting is the comments of some of the people in this video. The very top comment with 46,000 likes is not shy. It's called self-respect. And I think way too many people hate on the concept of dancing online for views and money, right? Not that that's realistic. I mean, the majority of people who do it will basically never make any money. So in that sense, it's like embarrassing yourself for basically nothing. So there's like really high risk for basically zero return if your odds are like 0.1% of actually popping off and being able to make a very short-lived social media career from dancing. But if we are to compare the idea of dancing online for money and views compared to what people nowadays do for money online, I honestly think dancing is one of the most innocent things that you could do for money. I mean, like, it's just freedom of expression and movement, right? It's an art form. I know a couple guys who and I say a couple guys. I know one guy who's actually really good at dancing. Um, he's studying it at university, I think. But he's got a couple of videos online which have like popped off, and I think it's super impressive. I don't know how much money he's made. I've not asked him personally, but like if you're good at it and you're not doing it to like make a fool of yourself, then I really don't think that there's anything wrong with it. If we compare it to the other methods, did I repeat myself? Which is like what people scamming, grifting, LARPing, pretending to be someone that they're not, cashing in on people's insecurities, selling misinformation, encouraging people to basically hurt themselves, like selling these fake ass supplements or these bogus techniques that don't work. I'm saying that with reference to lux maxing, which, as a concept, I don't think is actually bad, but um, some of the methods in there are actively detrimental to your health. But it's possible to look better without hurting your health. I think actually it's more synonymous to be healthy and look better, but that's outside of the scope of the video. Basically, what's interesting about this video is people really do not like the idea. Like, not shy, it's called self-respect. The way that I perceive this is that people are upset that others are able to make a crap ton of money in a way that is incomprehensible to, to their minds, right? I don't like to use this analogy, but I'm stretching here, but it does feel like crabs in a bucket mentality where, at the end of the day, if someone was able to, make this passion or make this thing that they did into, a living, then you should be happy for them. And you should be like, I mean, you shouldn't be happy for strangers online because that's weird. But like, if you were to know somebody who did this, then, that would be dope as hell. And I do actually know someone who's doing something like that. And bro, he is a good dancer. I've seen him like practicing in the gym. I think he's going places, bro. And he's a good looking guy, which always helps on social media. But I'm chopped. That's why I'm wearing a mask. um, the thing that I think is actually lacking self respect, and I don't want people to call me like, because I'm not even successful, if I'm being honest, like a hustler or whatever. But like, I think the idea of waking up at 6 a.m. to go to work is the thing that is actually lacking in self respect. I'm not saying it's possible for everybody to become a social media influencer. In fact, it is obviously the minority of people. This goes for like every single entertainment space ever, like modeling. If you want to be like an actor, even a voice actor, I'm not sure how competitive that is. Modeling, voice actor, athletes, you know, um, even like the OnlyFans careers, bro. A lot of these people hype it up and like say, "Oh, if you go on OnlyFans, you're gonna make a fuck ton of money." When it's like, it's like 0.5% of creators are making 99% of the money, while the rest of just they've actually sold their dignity and ability to get a self-respecting partner in the future. I know, like, I personally wouldn't be friends with anybody who was willing to date an OnlyFans star or a porn star or a sex worker or an adult actress. I don't think there's actually anything wrong with them because those people, the people that are actually good at that, they end up feeding their families, and they end up feeding their families, paying their parents' mortgages, paying off their houses, paying off like getting their parents like cars and shit. I think that's actually wholesome. Even though if you're an adult star, it's kind of like I never blame the adult stars. They're filling a demand that shouldn't even be there in the first place. What I actually blame is the bottomless pit of male horniness. Essentially, it's actually kind of disgusting to me. Um, I keep I keep going off topic, but the thing that is lacking in self respect is working too much, and I think like a lot of people like to flex how much they work and oh, I only got like 5 hours of sleep or I'm fucking hustling. Not any people my age, because people my age know that that's all crap. We should be aiming for low cortisol lifestyles and like basically doing what we like, but within constraints. Like obviously, like if you were to tell a child, oh, go do whatever you like, they're fucking. If it was me, they're gonna stuff their face with like sweets and play the Nintendo Wii all day, right? But doing what you want with constraints, stuff that you actually like, but still, challenging yourself, living on your edge, trying to provide value to society, even if it's for a shitty YouTube video, but even if it does somehow bring comfort to some people, it's technically value, right? Uh, I think that and just coincided with the experiences that I've heard from other people about work and how miserable working can be, mostly from people my age. The people who are older than me, they really don't complain about work. It's just the way that things are for them. But to be honest, they don't have the advantages and privileges that the younger generation do when it comes to the potentiality of making money online and through social media. Because I think it's optimistic for me to say, and I know it's wholly unrealistic because I haven't made anything, but like I've met people online who have income streams from the internet, and that kind of thing does open up your mind to like possibilities of not slaving away for your entire life. I think that's the thing it wasn't undignified before because you had family, you had bills, there was no other way. The internet was not a thing, right? Even for people who are stuck in the cycle now, I'm privileged enough that you know I don't have kids, I don't have basically any responsibilities at my age that are that major. But the thing that's undignified is, selling yourself short when we live in such a, vast space of opportunity. And, if we're thinking comparatively, I forgot to mention this in my last video, but about people thinking of jobs as the thing that is risk-free. Is it really? You can get fired easily. People do get fired. The first example that comes to mind is my friend who was working like a night shift job at a warehouse for a retail store in the UK, Primark, I think. And one night off, just one sick day off in like 6 months, they never called him again. You just think like, and then what? You got to spend like all this time like applying for more jobs. I don't mean to shit on him because I know there's people out there with good careers. It's a negative vocal minority online. Um, I'm sure there are people out there. I mean, I know people with good careers, but I mean, they're older than me, and I guess they weren't born into uh, an AI hellscape, and I guess there were more opportunities for them. You can make arguments for both sides. That's not really the point of this, but shit, where was I going with this, man? I always try to laugh. Yeah, what I was gonna say was that I'm laughing so hard, but there's a book fuck. Oh, is it called, man? I'll have to be Jimmy pull this up, man. It's like, how was it? Bullshit Work or Bullshit Jobs by some anthropologist guy, Matt Graeber. Is that his name? David Graeber. I always think it's Matthew Graeber for some reason, but it's David Graeber. And like, I think one of the arguments in this, I think one of the more valid arguments against dancing online is that, oh, you're not actually providing any real value to society. Well, the thing is, the people who managed to make money in that way off dancing online, they did technically provide value online. I mean, if you choose to spend your time watching something, even if it's under the guise of addiction, then technically it was providing you value because you were giving your attention for it. I guess my attention is not worth fuck all because I have ad block on everything, but those people did technically give value to however many millions of people it was, even if it was only like individually 10 seconds of attention. Cumulatively, that adds up to a lot for, whatever TikTok makes from ad revenue. That attention is so like worth dog shit. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is like the average TikTok user gonna buy from an advert if they're fucking flicking through that? But dopamine addiction is something I gotta talk about in a different video, but um apparently it's a lot more than I anticipated. So what you could say is that, yeah, it doesn't provide any value to society dancing online. I mean, even though I said that it does in a technical sense, like how are we furthering the human race, bro? Like not everybody's a fucking the way that I perceive people of furthering the human race is either through science or art. I mean, dancing is an art, I guess. I mean, best thing I think of is science, but I think science and art are both valuable in equal measure. Uh, my friend, he had the same view of day trading. He said that day trading provides actually zero value to society, and it's just people exploiting differences in price, but like they're not actually giving anything back. Uh, my opinion of day trading, even though I've never done it, I'm laughing again, is that I just don't want to be sat in front of screens all day, like manual day trading. I just don't think it sounds like a good life. And I also just, there is a sense of fulfillment that you get from providing value to society, I think. But the thing is, what Bullshit Jaws by David Graeber says is that most people just aren't even feeling that they provide value in their actual jobs. Like, I think a lot of the aimlessness in society comes from people feeling like their jobs are pointless and that they're easily replaceable. And like, I've certainly felt this before is that it's like, why the fuck am I even here? You know, like if I offed myself today, I mean, there are people that would miss me, but like wider society, they wouldn't really care, right? I'm just, I don't know. And the other thing I was gonna say, the thing about self-respect and working at 6 a.m. every day is that if you have kids, if you have family, loved ones, if you're working all day when you could have made money in a different way, this is something I'm gonna die trying to do because I kind of refuse to live life the other way. And this might be because I'm media poisoned or something, but I might, bro, I might start dancing on TikTok any second now, even though I've never installed it before. But I know that it's something that happens because I've seen some of the videos come from TikTok. What is it called? TikTok? Yeah, TikTok Live or just TikTok feed into like Instagram and YouTube and shit. Um, but yeah, what I was gonna say was that there was another book that I also haven't read, so I'm laughing again. There's just too much shit that I know, but not in depth. It's paraphrased. Another book, which is called Regrets of the Dying, written by this woman who was working at a retirement home, and she got to speak to people. In some words, she got to speak to people who were dying in their retirement homes, and what their last words were was that they were always spending too much time working and not enough time with their loved ones, their family, their friends, their kids, whoever else, right? And it's like you tell me, which one is more undignified? if you were able to make money in a different way via dancing on TikTok, OnlyFans, which I think is actually a little bit more harmful to society, but exploiting people's insecurities, selling misinformation, I think that's actually bad. And that's not something I would do over a regular job. But dancing on TikTok, bro, that is so innocent. I'm not talking about like pornographic dances that are designed to arouse the male gaze or whatever, but like innocent, actual, talented, entertaining dances to look at. I mean, this is shit that people have been seeing in real life. People pay to watch other people dance in real life as well, so I don't see what's wrong with it being online. It's been a thing forever, you know? What's more undignified between that and then, you know, not being able to see your kids, like, as much as you could, 8 hours a day, not being able to, take some stress off of your parents' lives with a little additional income that you've made in a different way. Not being able to take trip with friends that you want to because, you're stuck working, uh, in an economy that, quite frankly, just doesn't value you, so why should you value it, you know? I, I just see a bunch of haters in these comments, a bunch of people who I understand the confusion of this comment, never understood how we live in a world where people can film 20-second videos and get rich. Like I said, that's not the majority of people, it's a very small minority who are just very out there in front of everybody's eyes. Needs to with better posture. I agree that it's fucking crazy, but people have made the same argument about footballers and shit, and, footballers making too much money. That's just the way that money works. It's not really you just get rewarded, like, very, very differently for different things in life, and it's not necessarily fair, but it's just what other people think is valuable. I'll be honest, man, like, I really do not like the amount of money that some OnlyFans people make, and I saw an interview with, where's this fucking Clavicula there, and then some other dude there who was making money day trading. And this guy just had, like, no articulation, no semblance of, like, where he is or where he was going. But this guy was, like, somehow like, funding this OnlyFans star, like, 800K or something. I was like, "Bro, how retarded must I be that this person is richer than me?" You know? I I think that about every, like it's the disgusting viral trend where, these OnlyFans stars are, like, interviewing the top spenders. I watch it out of more of a curiosity. Another guy who's giving that money to this OS star who doesn't give a fuck about him instead of to his actual children. Now that's something that's undignified, right? But I I just I don't really know what to say. I mean, like, it's hard out there. If you find another way, please let me know, you know? But yeah, man, these fucking I've lost faith in humanity, but I never do, you know? If you wanna dance on TikTok, fucking go for it. It's probably one of the best things you can do right now. And, actually get good at it. Don't cl I mean, like some of these people said, like, don't clown yourself out, you know? That would be kind of selling you dignity, where you actually get good at it, you actually get talented at it, like someone I know, then by all means. And it's fucking fun to do. Who doesn't like dancing? I think I don't like being filmed dancing, and I would fucking do it if I wasn't chopped and I was actually talented at dancing, but I'm just not one of those things, you know? Work at the things you're good at, but, if dancing is one of those things, and don't be fucking ashamed, man, like, go out there. Any other dreams that you have about, playing piano, even if it's speaking to a camera. I said playing piano because I like to do that as well. Playing piano, speaking to a camera, providing comfort to some people, trying to be relatable to someone. If you have actual knowledge or expertise in a subject, well, that's actually valuable. That's not debatable. But, like, those other things, and, even if you're funny or some shit, And people are telling you, "Oh, no, that's stupid." They're like, "Just, you're not providing any value to society." First of all, that's subjective, and you could look at it at the lens of, so many people that I see online. I'm not really sure if I agree with this. The fact that society has betrayed some people, the economic ladder has basically been ripped apart for the younger generations. If there's something that you wanna try, then just fucking go for it. That's the message of this video. And, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm misinterpreting these comments about self-respect and dancing online, but I really I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Tell me if I'm being delusional. Yeah. See you later.